Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuzz here. A few videos ago, I talked about how to not get bored of Runescape or how to change it up in different ways by maybe trying a different style of combat or trying different things. And a topic that got brought up was hunting pets that are sort of unique or pets that aren't just like the standard bossing pet that we all know about. What about the other pets in the game that you can hunt? Well, it turns out there are quite a bit of other pets in Runescape, and I mean a ton of pets, and some of them can actually make you a really good amount of money on your way to getting them, and those pets are what we're going to be looking at and talking about in this video today. Also, make sure you subscribe so my pet chick Melvin can attend college one day. So the first pet I wanted to talk about here is the Revenant Dragon pet. Now the Revenant Dragon pet can actually be received multiple times, as it doesn't start out as a Revenant Dragon, it starts out as a Revenant Imp. You'll first get Revenant Spirit drops from Revenants, and these can be used to unlock the pets, and the drop rate for this Revenant Spirit actually gets harder and harder as you kill more Revenants and get more Revenant Spirits. So for instance, for the Revenant pet, for your first Revenant Spirit drop, it is only a 1 in 297 drop rate if you kill the Revenant Dragon, but once you own every pet but the last one, so you've gotten the Revenant Spirit 11 times, the Revenant Dragon drops the final pet at a 1 in 4,166 rate instead, which is like 15 times the drop rate of your first pet. So needless to say, the more pets you obtain, the harder it'll be to get that final pet, which in my opinion is one of, if not the coolest looking pet in the game, the Revenant Dragon, one that I'm still hunting, almost there, and one that I definitely probably at the top of my list to get. Now, even though the Revenant Dragon is a very cool pet, what good is a pet if you didn't at least make some money going for it? Well, luckily, the Revenant Dragon pet is going to make you a really big amount of GP. From research I've done, it looks like the average Revenant Dragon pet takes anywhere from around 40 to 50,000 kills. I have a friend who is kind of an expert on Revenants, as he's gotten like the Revenant title log on like 3 hardcore Ironmen before the Wilderness change. Considering Status Warhammers are around 80 mil each at the moment, which is a lot less than they were before, but there's still good items like Zoriel staffs, Zoriel items, still items that are kind of in demand that you can still get from Revenants that make them actually quite a bit of money. We're going to look at my log and see how much I actually made, and I've killed around 30,000 Revenants, I believe, and I think I'm like 2 pets off the Revenant Dragon. So if we go ahead and look at my collection log here, I would estimate that I have made probably around 500 to 600 mil from Revenant so far, and I only have 9 of the pets. And of course, this does not include the Status Warhammer prices from before, because these used to be over 200 mil each. Now they're selling for about 80 to 100 mil based on the most recent sales in the past few weeks. But you know, and you also have a chance to get corrupt ones rather than normal ones, which don't sell for hardly anything at all. But you still have stuff like the Zoriel staff, the Zoriel robe bottom, Zoriel's robe top that will sell for a decent amount. Vestive spear is a few mil. Ancient warrior equipment patches are like 1.3 mil or so, and there's a lot of stuff that just adds up. And while you're not going to make 10 billion GP hunting the Revenant Dragon pet, you can still have a chance to make some decent money depending on your Status Warhammer luck. And let's be honest, in my opinion, it's just one of the coolest looking pets in the game. So if you feel like you might eventually want to go for the Ultimate Slayer title, you'll have to do this anyway, and it's a pet that is really nice. So the next pet I want to move on to is a pet that I still do not have unlocked, which is the Artemis pet. The Artemis pet can actually be obtained after getting a golden compass drop, which can be dropped from clue scrolls. Now, while we don't currently know the exact drop rate, as Jagex has not revealed that yet, we do know that this compass can be obtained when you either complete clue scroll steps or when you open clue scroll caskets. So while you can do any tier of clue, doing clues like hard clues can actually make you a lot of money when going for this pet. For instance, I've done around 1,500 hard clues so far. I've received 2 shadow dies, a barrow die, and a 3rd age kite shield. Am I lucky? Yes, I'm very lucky, but in the long term, clues make a ton of money because of all the fortune components, not to mention, of course, the dies. And even if you hunted this pet and you happen to get it after only around like, I don't know, 100 hard clues and you got pretty lucky, you'd still make over 100 million GP probably, if not more in the long run, because hard clues are are much more than 1 million each per clue in the long run. Now, if you don't want to go the hard clue route, you can still try to get this pet by doing easy clues, and you can also make a decent amount from those off of fortune components. I opened some of these recently and made quite a bit of money just from those little fortune components. So if you want to unlock a cool looking pet and you're looking for a switch up from the constant PVM or skilling, trying out clues and going for the golden compass as your goal could definitely be worthwhile for you. I like having pets as goals because it's a definitive endpoint. It's this chase thing that you're hunting, and then finally at the end you're going to get that pet and be super happy, but then you're going to have all that money you made along the way, which is kind of the point of this video. Next, I want to talk about a Slayer pet, which I'm going to have to do eventually because it's unlocked with the Ultimate Slayer title, and it's dropped from Ripper Demons, and that is the Nipper Demon pet, which is received from getting the Parasitic Orb drop from Ripper Demons. Now this is dropped at a whopping 1 in 30k rate from normal Ripper Demons, or at a 1 in 1k rate from Elite Ripper Demons, although you do get 3 rolls on the table, so it's essentially a 3 in 1k rate, so much better. But Elite Ripper Demons are pretty rare to get, and you usually only get like 1 or 2 a Slayer task at most. This makes the Nipper Demon a pet that needs to be grinded for quite a while, but nowadays it's a bit more lucrative, as with the introduction of Ancient Summoning in 2020 in the Archaeology release, it can actually be very lucrative going for this pet, considering the 1 in 30k drop rate and the potential for elite spawns. If it takes you around 20 to 25k Ripper Demon kills to get this pet drop, you'll profit around 1.5 bill or more from making the Ripper Demon pouches, and this does take into account all the supplies and all the supplies you'll need to make the binding contracts, so you'll easily be making 1 bill if not 1.5 bill profit on your way to getting this pet. And hey, if you get lucky, then awesome, you have a requirement for the Ultimate Slayer title and a super cool pet. If you don't get lucky, well, by the time you're done, you're gonna make a lot of money from these binding contracts. So it's kind of a way to give you another motivation, rather than saying, oh, I'm gonna go grind out binding contracts for like 50 hours or whatever. You can say, hey, I'm gonna go grind to try to get this cool pet. And then the money is just kind of a byproduct, which is kind of how I like to think of it, and kind of a little thing that motivates me to try this stuff. Finally, I wanted to talk about an honorable mention, which is the Soulgazer pet. So the baby Soulgazer pet is gotten from getting a Soulgazer's Charm. Now this Soulgazer's Charm, wait for this drop rate, from a Soulgazer, it is 1 in 750,000. But when you're killing Soulgazers, you can actually get this at a 1 in 750 drop rate from the Elite Soulgazers, and this is very interesting as a pet and kind of an honorable mention, because the reason you'd make money by getting this is you'd also get a Hex Hunter bow. Now a Hex Hunter bow is double the drop rate of the pet, so essentially you shouldn't get a Hex Hunter bow before you get the pet, but you do have a chance of that, because if you get the Veil Ripper spawn, that is a guaranteed Hex Hunter bow, and this spawn can actually sell for more than the Hex Hunter bow itself. The pet rate from the Veil Ripper is actually the same as any Elite Soulgazer, so there's no elite mob that can guarantee the pet, so you can actually go pretty dry on this. But this is just an honorable mention here, because if you do kill a bunch of Soulgazers to try to get this pet, you do have a pretty good chance at getting the Hex Hunter bow on your road to getting this pet. I know people that have gotten Hex Hunter bows before the pet and really just want to unlock the pet. Slayer task does not affect this, so it has the same drop rate on and off task, but essentially this is sort of similar to the Nipper Demon, as it's going to take quite a lot of kills to get it. It doesn't have that steady income, but while you're hunting this baby Soulgazer, you do have a chance at a Hex Hunter bow, which fetches a very decent price. So yeah, I hope this video maybe gave you some motivation on some uniquer pets that aren't just the typical boss pet that you can hunt and maybe make some decent money. If you guys have gotten any of these pets, let me know what KC you got them at and how much money you made. I've made quite a bit off revs and still don't have the dragon, so hopefully I can make a video on getting that soon and see how much I actually make on my way for just getting the last few pets. Leave a like as always, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.